an automatic picking up where you left off. And I probably have 50 really good, in my family and friends that are like close family. And then there's probably another 25. There's probably a range of 50 to 55 in there as you move to that next 25 where it's close, but it's a little lighter. Aren't going as deep necessarily, but they could grow too. So, there's a lot of people, and I attribute that to giving of myself and being an open person. And that comes with trust and them reciprocating too in that same direction as well. And, so here I am, I'm a single person, and I refer to myself as single. But, technically the word is divorced in our world. I don't like that word. I don't like to feel like I'm divorced. Like when I hear that word, it seems like you're cut off or severed or something. And to me, that's not life has its way of dealing you the cards you get, and things happen. And as long as you're doing your best, I hold no grudges, and I always hope nobody holds any against me. Well, how does a guy end up single? Maybe you're two people joined together, and as I initially did with the mother of my children, my two kids, Ruby and Winston, and I've had this scenario in life before. But you start out and you think you're on a journey together, whoever you are, anybody this can happen to. And then you realize maybe in this journey, the spiritual side of it, even beyond work, you realize one person really wanted a, family and a belief in God. And the other person wanted family and a belief in God, but the career side of it too, and maybe both had careers, but the career side of it with my study in the ancient scripture was also and more, and this is what they talk about in that Success Builders group about the calling part, had a lot to do with a preacher of righteousness faith. And when you look at the ancient scruples and principles that I dig down into to talk about marketplace value, and how I've produced profitable fruit in my life and everything I've worked at, and passing that information on to people so they can live with it, that's beyond the goal of two people wanting to live in a faith and a belief and do their jobs and be part of a family. So sometimes people meet and it's a way they're talking, they both, and then as time goes on, and so there's no grudges against anybody, right? And I hope people can get along that way. I don't look at anything I've done as I feel like, if I've tried my best, I succeed. And sometimes, there's gaps and breaks in the road and you wonder what's going on here, what's next. This didn't work out the way I thought it was gonna. And that's life. And you gotta move beyond scenarios and just don't look back and don't blame. And I always hope who's in a similar situation to maybe me or other people, that their kids look at them and they feel valued and esteemed. And I try to talk about principles like that in my company as well. And I have good meetings with my own kids on the internet. I mean, when they live in California and I live in Alberta, we can't, I'm not down the street. Their mother's with them day to day. But, we can relate ongoing every other week and just stay in each other's lives with that kind of respect that creates trust as time goes on, deeper and deeper and deeper levels. And that's, we love each other because we're doing that. And that is a leadership and fathering principle. So I pass that on as I talk about this work topic tonight, because it's about your total life. In order for your life to go well, you have to have good, solid work coming in, opportunity for money and cash flow to pay the bills and create a life. But you have to have a balance in life where, your actual life, your work is what's sustaining it too. Yes, it's from God. As you seek Him and find the work you fit in, and He's never going to let you fall by the wayside, our Lord. But, a person should never get down in the dumps and think, I have a challenge in front of me, there's always an answer or a solution. So my advice would be, I guess, in this talk, this success point that's moving past the 38-minute mark here, and I'm thinking everybody's still glued in, is, be the best you can be. And if you're doing that, nobody can hold a grudge against you that's worth hanging on to or reflecting on for a minute. And, just be the best you can be. And I think when you're a leader, you're doing that common anyhow, whether you know yourself by that name or not. I know lots of people that are leaders. I just bumped into a friend of mine here the other day picking up a jug of water, and he's a leader, but he probably doesn't use the word to refer to himself that way, but I know he is, because he's doing good things with his business and he influences people in a direction he believes in, and he's got a lot of the same positive qualities I was raised with too. So I appreciate that friend. And, way back we were roommates one time when we were younger too, in our early 20s, and there's common there. But, when you are being the best you can be and you're a leader, sometimes people start to follow you around and try to impress you. They start just taking on your qualities, and some of it's just happening naturally. And sometimes it's copycatting you because they want to impress you. And I just suggest just be the you that you are, and build the trust through those qualities I've talked about, because nobody wants to feel like they're copycatted. And, because and I've had this happen, and I've been in an organization where I've seen it happen, and a whole bunch of people following a charismatic guy, and they all start walking like him, talking like him, saying the same words as him, the same intonations in their tone. Well, it's just very copycatty and political. And then when it's you that's the leader, my caution to anybody is try to encourage people to grow in their own special flavor and personality, because the last thing you want is a bunch of people walking around just like you, because then you feel like, well, where's myself in all this? I don't even have me anymore. I got a whole bunch of me's around me. Anyways, it's not a bad problem to have. So there's suggestions and ways. Keep developing, that's my advice, your special flair, your talents, your gifts, your qualities, your you. And then I guess the second thing I just say in advice to end this topic off is never give up. Don't quit. Don't let the obstacles get in your way, and there will be many. There's always obstacles. If I had a dime for every time I was a freelancer. I've done 20 projects in the last 20 years. I launched my company officially under its brand name in 2017, did 4 projects, signed 5 agreements that year, never got paid from any of it, did $270,000 worth of work. I've decided I'm going to write some of it down. I still got some on the books, because I want to get my taxes done right away here so that I can get the COVID money and, hire the accountant and all that. But there's always challenges. I wanted to quit 27 times. I counted them in the first 6 months I launched my brand. Twice a week for 6 months. Does that add up? No. Once a week for 6 months. And then in COVID year, there was no business opportunity. The world shut down for a while, basically. Then you didn't want to call people and seemingly threaten them with your tone of trying to get business. So things were dragging. Well, we're in a little more optimism here. And that's how Hitachi and I got together in the last 4 months of the year. But no revenue on the books 2020. Through the summer of 2020, I only wanted to quit every other week for 5 months. So it wasn't as common. It was about half as much. But if something matters to you and it's important, whether it's relationships with your daughter and son, and I could tell you many stories about, things I've had to do to make sure I stayed in touch with them, and I won't get into all the obstacles of that. But there's a real reason why we love each other and we're tight. you know, and it's I had to make an effort, and I know people have had challenges, so I'm not going to get into all that tonight. But just know that when you look at a man that's sturdy in his purpose and focus and cause, you know that he's jumped through hurdles and over stuff to get through to the other side to make it happen and make it work. And I didn't have to drive all night every night like that one time I had the flight problems and rented the car in Vegas and had no sleep and saw them the next day. But I've had common to that scenario probably another half a dozen or 20 different scenarios that weren't really life-giving to me in any way, but I had to deeply commit myself, not involve myself, to get through and overcome and come through and be there so my kids and I can enjoy each other's company and be together. And those problems become part of your story and how you can encourage other people when times are tough for them because you didn't give up and just go a different direction and give up on what mattered, right? So that would be my second piece of advice. And I'm going to go with that. So it's, I'll just give you one little clue here about how much people love you when you're a leader and they don't always say it, okay, as I close off. I remember a number of years ago, and I've led probably 30 outback multi-day excursions in canoe, kayak, and backpacking in my life, or been on. And then a portion of those were by myself, solo, and then a chunk of those I've led groups of people, anywhere from 4 of us up to 12, I suppose, Well, I took 3 fellas I knew, one guy from Agritrend in Manitoba, and then I took a father and son friend from Red Deer when I lived there, and we did a 4-day extreme demanding hike in the mountains. And on the 4th day, after being together on this adventure, camping out, cooking, doing the hike up and down, lots of terrain with roots and rocks, hard on our feet. It rained half the trip. It was muddy. We encountered a bit of wildlife too. We saw a lot of good in each other, some camaraderie, and helped each other through the challenge of just outback living and the excursion of hiking, right? And you're carrying your load on your back, your backpack. Well, so and you're learning how all the skills too, because I pride myself on taking people that are amateurs that haven't done a lot of it, if any, and then teaching them along the way and showing them with the qualities I have and giving them the skills and the confidence. So they come out with a boost. They go back in life and feel, man, I accomplished something. There's this like a zest or a confidence to them for a while, right? Because of that trip or excursion. Well, we're an hour from the end of our trip. And, when we're done, we're going to just basically load our bags into a cab, go back to the beginning of the trail, head about an hour away by car, and then go eat and then go home. And so we're doing this. It's up near Lake Louise. We're in the Sawback Range out in Banff. And about an hour before we're off the trail, we still have like an hour of hiking left. We sit down for a break, have a drink of water, and I lean my pack against the sort of the ledge of the tree shelf area, and I say, I'm going to go take a squirt. I'm going to run up into the woods, and I'll be back. I'm going to have a leak, I suppose, right? So I come back 5 minutes later. Okay, you guys ready to go? Throw my pack on. And I'm thinking, man, this has been a hard trip, but my pack is so heavy. And I'm just kind of thinking to myself, God, help me to finish this strong. These guys, I'm leading them here. They had a good time. I'm happy with how they did, and I'm sure they're proud of me for taking them here, whatever. I'm thinking, man, this pack is so heavy. And there's this odd little glimmer or laugh or whatever. I didn't think it was a glimmer of hope that they had when they got home. So I get home, and I was living in Red Deer at the time, and I'm unpacking my pack 3 days later, because for the first day you're resting or whatever. here there's 20 pounds of rocks they had stuffed into my backpack. So sometimes when guys are proud of you as a leader and they're impressed with you, they aren't always telling you anything. You got to pick up on the signs. That's like an old locker room love and jovialness, camaraderie between mates. And I think those guys were pretty glad. And those rocks, they always say, leave the pristine environment the way it is. Sometimes you have no control. Those rocks are in Red Deer, and that's where they stayed from that Banff trip. Well, bye for now. I hope we do a business deal in the marketplace soon. Anybody that's interested in training, I'm working on devoting myself fully to training. And I will take projects, but if I have to, like if there's a need, but I'm really wanting to get the training customers in and pass on my knowledge that way. So use this video well on the free internet for anybody that tunes in and for your purposes. And there's still 7% of what I don't talk about, because some of it should be private for the people paying for the courses, and I won't give it away until the courses. 97% of what we do at our company, Connections Consulting Inc., business training and market growth projects, is about just giving it away to people so you can get in here and make your life better in your company, and you'll want to hire us for the courses. We'll do online or in public meeting room with you for your private company, boardroom of your office or at a hotel ballroom or whatever. So go with that and use this well. And we hope to see you soon. Bernie May, connectionscon.ca. Book us now if you'd like, and we'll maybe come back here before too long and talk to you about our personal life. Not that I have a right to do that, but sometimes there's people that just think, is there anything I can do better in my personal life that to help me have a better life? And so I might involve myself that way and give a few clues. We'll see here. Take care now and have a good night.